What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? It's Uncle Muscles. We're going to talk today about ZOLUDA, ROCm, NVIDIA versus AMD, the ML/AI bubble, and what should you be doing, I guess? How should you be thinking about it? Currently, NVIDIA is just running the whole industry, and that's basically because of CUDA. If you're not really familiar with CUDA, that's okay. CUDA is just it's the language that NVIDIA offers developers to talk with their GPUs. Now, recently, there is this project called ZOLUDA. Well, it's actually not even that recent. Apparently, ZOLUDA was created by... Where is it? Yeah. ZOLUDA was created by Intel originally, or was sponsored originally by Intel, and then the project was readopted by AMD, and then AMD dropped it. I'm assuming AMD dropped it basically because they're now investing most of their development into ROCm and HIP, which is fair. And ROCm HIP works on any platform. It's not AMD specific. But the nice thing about ZOLUDA is that there's a lot of things that AMD and ROCm just don't do well currently. And you can actually find out about this through the ZOLUDA project. I think I'm looking at the wrong one. Let me just look at ZOLUDA, and then I just type it in here because So this is a more recent or more updated version of ZOLUDA. This Vosen one is the one that, I think this is the original developer that worked with AMD and Intel on it. This most recent updated one, I think this guy's looking more into like the Facebook type of stuff. I forget where I saw that, but I think there's some correlation between the Facebook libraries for a lot of this AI stuff or maybe it's just automatic. I forget where this developer's kind of focusing a lot of his attention, but whatever. They offer ZOLUDA they're updating the ZOLUDA project at this point. They're the ones kind of maintaining the most recent version of it, or the most active version, the active fork. And so you can see here, these are the applications that ZOLUDA is actually like useful for. And you know what? I don't even think it shows it on this page. So we have to go revert. Yep. Okay. So whatever. I'm showing you how that exists. This is Facebook research. Where's the other guy? Cool. Vosen. So these are the applications that that ZOLUDA is actually useful for, and that's because ROCm is kind of not. It's just not capable at the moment. And this is the tendency with AMD, is that AMD has really super capable hardware, but their software and development is just way behind in the ball. I'll give you two examples of this currently. About a month and a half ago, there was like a automatic update that installed like a new version of the AMD driver, and it didn't brick people's machines, but it's like your computer would... The GPU would just immediately crash when you restarted the computer. It would just keep crashing. So it's you have to uninstall the driver and reinstall the old driver. But it wasn't explicit. It was an automatic update. So clearly they just didn't check their driver before they released it. Anyway, there's that. And then what was the most recent issue I had with them? Oh, right. So they just released about 5 days ago, and this is the reason why all this stuff gets kind of interesting. They just released the AMD software for WSL2, which makes all of this stuff, all of the ROCm hardware or software that's specific to like Linux. ROCm currently only runs at 5.7.1 on Windows natively, but on Linux, or the WSL2 now, the Windows subsystem, Linux subsystem, it actually runs ROCm 6.1, or 6.1.3 even. That's what I think I'm using. So that's the reason why you need this. However, if you've installed this, and I have to talk to people, I have to like start going on GitHub and let people know what's going on. If you install this driver is not signed. So if you have secure boot on, you will basically like it doesn't ruin your installation, but like your boots will go from like 30 seconds to like 5 minutes, and WSL will not start. So they need to like tell people this. Once again, like this, I'm sure people are pulling out their hair right now trying to figure out why they can't get WSL to start. It took me about a night to figure this out, and I'm going to do another. There's basically like 3 videos I want to release right now. This was kind of the first one just to kind of get the information out there. It's like the overall like generalization of kind of the current state of everything. But yeah, I mean, AMD has this track record of ruining people's lives, and it's because they offer really nice hardware, but the software just is not there yet. And whatever, I mean, to their like credit, it's like this is beta software. Like this is, and they'll be honest about that. Well, actually, this one might not be beta. Yeah, I don't know. Disclaimer or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is a beta or whatever. This is probably not beta, and the reason why they shouldn't be actually releasing this in the first place is because, like I said, this will actually brick your install to some degree, at least your WSL install. And the only solution is to go and either uninstall the driver or go into your BIOS and turn off secure boot, by the way. So, like, that's not on the internet. I had to figure that out myself. And hopefully that's the answer, and hopefully I'm telling everybody the correct answer, but I had to figure that out myself, right? Like, you can't go to ChatGPT and be like, hey, why is my WSL instance not opening now that I've installed the new AMD driver? I know they're related. What's the problem? Anyhow, so we figured that one out. Good luck to anybody trying to do that. So where are we? AMD software, the reason why you're using it, CUDA exists. Okay, let's just go through quickly the reason why. This is software, this is the reason why it doesn't, this is the reason why you need CUDA, is because CUDA just works. CUDA works for which applications? CGBN, I don't know what that is, right? I don't know what that is, but it's going to work better on CUDA than it is for HIP. So the solution would be, instead of running the application on HIP, just run it with the CUDA interface. Okay, cool, I got that. Arnold, I'm not exactly sure what that does. Blah, 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 blah. It runs better on CUDA than it does on HIP because of some underlying bug. Maybe they actually hash this out too, I'm not really sure. But if you're running into this bug, all you need to do is run it with CUDA instead, and you should be fine. PyTorch, now this is where I have a little bit more experience at this point because I've been using Comfy UI. And I think, and by the way, check out Comfy UI. It's a fantastic, fantastic software, open source piece of software that allows you to do most of the stable diffusion stuff, particularly on AMD's hardware. And it allows you to use ST3, it allows you to use stable diffusion audio, allows you to use open source, which I'm trying to get working on ROCm right now. We'll get into that more later. Even PyTorch 3D, which is another thing that I will get into. That those are the two libraries I can't get to work on ROCm, but in general, Comfy UI pretty much works with the whole gamut of whatever that's capable with PyTorch. You can then use it as a node with Comfy UI. It's fantastic. I love the software. Comfy's awesome, and the community is awesome. And Stability AI is awesome also. I feel like a lot of this stuff wouldn't exist without Stability AI. I know they have a lot of drama going on between the two communities. I don't want to get involved in that. I was trying to figure out what was going on. It seems like there's some bullying going on in the community and gatekeeping, and I don't like that type of stuff. So that's like usually when my troll, like my king troll persona just kicks in. And I experience a lot in these communities, but it's I ultimately hope and think that AMD, NVIDIA users, Comfy UI, Stability AI, we're all going to be best friends in the end, hopefully. And Facebook too. Anyway, yeah, I guess we'll get to this now. So all this software exists. And it exists for, where am I? We're trying to go for CUDA, right? So it exists for CUDA and not ROCm. So that's it. It's not that NVIDIA hardware is better. It's that their software is superior and always will be. This isn't like, oh, tomorrow it's going to get better. No, the industry reflects the development of CUDA. AI and machine learning, their developments are directly going to be correlated to whatever advancements in CUDA exist. For the most part, at the moment, there's probably a lot of like CPU stuff that might be going on too as well. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I just doubt that there's CPU compute that's faster than GPU. So the idea for industry is if you're going to try to train a model or whatever, you're going to try to make a 30-second video in Sora that requires 200 gigabytes of VRAM. You're going to just run it on NVIDIA machines because you don't have to worry about trying to get all these like weird like application layers to work, or you don't have to worry about like ROCm not being able to crunch down some CUDA, whatever. It makes sense for the most part. It makes sense. You're going to want to just buy an NVIDIA card. You're going to want to probably get like a 3090 Ti, and that gives you 24 gigabytes of RAM, and you don't have to worry about it. That being said, that will eventually just go away. It's going to go away. And the dependency on AMD or NVIDIA is going to go away. The software is going to be pretty much always on CUDA side up until someone makes a better API that works better with machine learning and AI that's going to be probably open source and runs on like ARM, which this probably exists. Like you need to be able to do the compute in something that's either the license exists for open source or another company makes it accessible for everybody. Up until then, NVIDIA, which is what AMD is kind of trying to do, That's what AMD's trying to do. But AMD makes graphics hardware. It doesn't make machine learning hardware. There's going to be another company that comes around, like Tesla or somebody, that's like, oh, we're going to make like NPUs. Like this is a neural processing unit, and all the hardware is open source. You pop this in your computer, and you can just run CUDA or ROCm applications without any issue. It works with everything. That is going to like supersede all this other hardware and software technology at some point or another. I think I could be wrong. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm fairly new to this whole thing. And so like if you guys have any like feedback, whatever, you just want to tell me I'm completely off, I totally get that. But yeah, so like at the moment, CUDA is the way to do it. CUDA doesn't allow you, or sorry, NVIDIA doesn't allow you to use CUDA with or to package Zoluda with other software. Like you can't use the CUDA toolkit and then also like package the Zoluda software in your like in your application or whatever. And like there's actually a instance of this, and this is the reason why that was added to their license, or it was always part of their license, but it was just like kind of featured on the internet or the online software agreement or whatever. But this is a great example of it. This is a 48 gigabyte. I wonder if we can get these in the United States. This is a 48 gigabyte graphics card that basically runs CUDA that's made in China. So it's like NVIDIA is trying to not allow that. So more threads can't release Zoluda, like anything that circumvents talking to CUDA layers with their drivers, essentially. So that's the idea. PyTorch, as of recently, is almost entirely supported by ROCm. And I highly recommend anybody who's interested in this stuff, go check out the ROCm GitHub, because any piece of software that you're having trouble running with ROCm currently, you should be able to find in their repository. Two examples of like that does not apply to, it would be right now I'm using Colossal AI. I'm trying to use this to get OpenSOAR working with my Comfy UI install. And then the other thing I'm finding is that PyTorch 3D does not work. This is why I mentioned Facebook beforehand. It seems to be the case that anything that's made by Facebook really isn't supported very well by AMD or ROCm. The other example of this would be Xformers. However, Xformers is, and this is why I was like, you guys got to check this out. Like ROCm really is doing a great job. I have to like, it's not there yet, but like it's coming along. Xformers is supported by ROCm. You can just use this and build it or pip install right from this link. So pip install git plus HTTPS and then copy paste the link from the clone thing, and then bam, you can just install it right from there. The other thing that's also nice is that like Flash Attention. This is another library that exists natively for ROCm, or not native. Well, it exists now for ROCm. And AMD's in charge of it. So I'd really, really like it if ROCm starts like forking Colossal AI and the Facebook research PyTorch 3D. Pretty much all of the Comfy nodes that I've come across, so anything that you can use with Comfy Anonymous, if you can get these two things to be covered by ROCm, that's it. Comfy UI is completely supported under AMD. At the moment, those two things do not exist. And if you're interested in any of this, I highly recommend, I'll put a link in the description below. There's a Matrix chat. Definitely check out Comfy, the Comfy Anonymous chat, or Comfy Anonymous, I guess, is the person that is running the project, and then the Comfy UI is the Matrix chat. I was very much against downloading and installing a third open source messaging application that I'll never use. However, the Comfy development community is awesome. You probably will have to talk to them at some point, and there's already been some like divergence in the community between like Comfy and Stability AI. Comfy really works primarily with Stability AI. In fact, as I understand it, Comfy Anonymous worked with Stability AI and then recently has left the company. So there is a lot of overlap there, but there is some, like I said, divergence within the community, which I'm not trying to like, I don't want to highlight that because I don't think it's super important at the moment. I think that like both projects are going to work fantastically and work well together, and then there's also going to be other projects that are going to exist, and then that Comfy UI will probably incorporate those down the line, and I'm looking forward to all of this. So it's like really like great work on everybody's behalf. I'm sorry that people are getting frustrated with one another, but I think what's most important is that people should be more embracing than exclusive. And what I'm finding, especially in the community right now, is like NVIDIA users hate AMD. What else is going on? Linux users hate anybody who's using Windows. Anybody who's using Stability hates anybody using Comfy. It's just like, okay, like the let's just be friends. I'd like to see more of that going on right now, because like really, there's just so much cool technology that's getting released, and like there is a little bit of like there's a lot of gatekeeping going on, and I understand that too, because like this is the future of industry. Like if you're doing any type of graphical or like 3D work or anything like that, if you're like a graphic artist or visual artist or like any type of like photo artist or anything like that, you're most likely going to be using these tools somewhere down the line in your workflow, or you're not going to have a job anymore. So I get the gatekeeping, and like the more you know now, the more competitive you can stay, and hence why I'm trying to release this information, because like I think it's good to help others. Like I don't really know how all this stuff really kind of correlates yet, and I'm trying to make trying to make sense of everything, and I'm just offering like all the information I've gathered. Now I believe this is going to help people. I really do think that I'm going to be helping other people, like their workflows and their like them being able to use this information and technology. So, and I think by them being able to do it, they'll help me be able to implement it as well. So it's, it's a win-win for everybody. I hope communication stays active, and then like with the open source projects, I really just hope that people are a little bit like conscientious of that. Like CUDA is not the only thing that exists, and then like make sure that your software isn't like making like checking against itself. To like, if you have RockM on your computer installed, that it will not work. Okay. Looking at you. I don't know who I'm looking at, but I'm looking at you. Anyhow, so that's it. Hopefully this video just gives you a perspective on what's going on with like this big AI bubble with NVIDIA and like AMD, and how to think about all of it. Like NVIDIA kills it, man. Their software is like legit. The entire industry is being steered by NVIDIA, like NVIDIA's dominance in the market and understanding how to like create really good software that helps developers make what they want. And they've always been good at that. Like this is the reason why they have a corner on the video game market, and this is the reason why they have a corner on the AI market, and pretty much any market up until like there's a better alternative that's just like hardware based. And I don't, at this point, like we're really approaching that like singularity. It was like there's not many more iterations of like new technologies that are going to come out that are going to be like useful to humanity, that like humanity is going to even have like a part in. Like we're approaching AGI. Once the software starts writing itself, like that's it. Like we're not going to need a lot of this. Like there's not going to be competition anymore. There's no more competition. I think really that's NVIDIA knows that. Like their biggest asset is time, and they're just playing the long game here. Like they basically it's Fallout. It's like NVIDIA realizes that if they just blow up the entire like waste like the entire world, and they just wait it out. Like they'll be the only people that like exist, and then like you have to use NVIDIA just by like default. And I think that's kind of like what's going on. It's kind of like scorched earth. Now I don't think like really I'm kind of making a joke here, but NVIDIA is just, it is better. It is better if you want to have your stuff work, but at the same time, you can do this on RockM, and the technology is changing, and the open source community is being very helpful and very useful. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a time game. But yep, that's it. I mean, I think I'm covering it. Hopefully this like made sense. Hopefully I'm not just rambling, and now I am. But whatever. Check me out, twitch.tv/UncleMuscles. I'll be using Comfy UI on Twitch, and I might even be switching over to Twitter at some point. I don't even know. We'll see. But check me out. I'm going to put a link in the description below for the Comfy chat and all the other chats I've been using. PyTorch is really useful. Software, RockM is really awesome. Zoluda is really awesome. These two things I can't get to work. And check out some of my other videos coming out on how to get all this stuff to work on Windows and RockM and blah, 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 blah. That's it. Love you guys. Got to go. Bye.